Overwhelmingly peaceful. Karen Bass describes protests from comfort of a helicopter. You can't make this stuff up, man. Like, it's like the whole Marie Antoinette thing, but I don't think it's delusion. I think they're just straight up lying. They can't say that the riots destroyed LA. I mean, these people are crazy. Like, who in their mind believed that it was overwhelmingly peaceful when we got all the footage of the burned vehicles, the how they tore up the outside of the ICE building and was throwing things at ICE and dropping bricks on ICE vehicles from the overpass and Molotov cocktails, and I can go on and on and on about the stuff that was going on during these LA riots. And she has the audacity to say the protest was overwhelmingly peaceful. Wow. So I'm going to play the clip of this idiocracy. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this crazy information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. And you can get a bunch of exclusive content there. So check that out. Also, follow me on X and Instagram as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Daily Caller. And they report that Democrat Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass stated Sunday on CNN State of the Union that she found the city's anti-Trump No Kings protests on Saturday to be overwhelmingly peaceful while observing the situation from the comfort of a helicopter. Protests and riots have been ongoing in downtown Los Angeles since June 6th, leaving the area filled with vandalism, burnt Waymo cars, and looted stores. As Los Angeles has its own installment of the National No Kings protests on Saturday, Bass described how she had spent time in a helicopter in search of the 700 Marines that President Donald Trump deployed to the city to restore order on Monday. Really? What would she do if she spotted the 700 Marines anyway? I don't know what she would do, what she would have done. But in addition to the Marines being deployed, Trump had called in 2,000 National Guard members to downtown Los Angeles on Saturday, with Bass and Democrat California Governor Newsom criticizing the decision. But let's get to the clip here. Here we go.
At least one individual was detained on Friday by Marines outside the federal building. Marines also faced off with protesters there yesterday. Based on what you've seen, are the troops being used to conduct law enforcement actions at all? And how long do you expect them to remain in LA?
Well, Dana, I have to say that yesterday I spent time in the helicopter, so I went all over the city in search of these Marines. And I'm sorry, but I just didn't see them. What the troops are doing, the Federalized National Guard, is protecting the federal building. I think that detention that happened was an isolated incident, and I believe it was outside of the city of Los Angeles. But I do want to dispel the notion that the military is here. We don't want them here. They don't need to be here. Our local law enforcement have complete control of the situation. And I will tell you, the 30,000 people were downtown LA. There were protests in 15 different locations in our city. I flew over each one of them, and they were overwhelmingly peaceful. It's not shocking that at the end of a protest that you're going to have some confrontation. Of course, I wish there was none at all. But I don't think that characterized the day at all.
On Friday, the Trump administration...
I mean, otherwise, more than 5 people would have been arrested.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I hear you. I do want to ask about something.
No, we know how the lax policies are in LA. Just because only 5 people was arrested, doesn't mean there was only like 5 incidents. I mean, both the Marines and National Guard troops have been located at the Los Angeles Federal Building, with the Marines detaining a man on Friday and the National Guard seen by the Daily Caller News Foundation detaining a protester on Saturday. quote, I will tell you the 30,000 people were downtown LA. There were protests in 15 different locations, she said. I mean, this woman is delusional. Chaos erupted at the Saturday protest after thousands had gathered. I'm sorry, let me go back some. While Bass repeatedly suggested that the situation was completely under control on Saturday, footage captured by the Daily Caller News Foundation, in addition to scenes observed by the Daily Caller News Foundation, indicate that the situation on the ground was more volatile than Bass let on. I mean, really? You really think she was going to be honest about the situation? But chaos erupted at the Saturday protest after thousands had gathered throughout the downtown Los Angeles, near both the Federal Detention Center and federal buildings. With tensions beginning to rise around 2:30 p.m., protesters could be seen yelling and taunting the National Guard at the steps of the federal building. With an unlawful assembly shortly declared after, both Los Angeles Police Department officers and Los Angeles sheriffs had attempted to disperse the massive group away from the federal building. It said Haley Grace put out here, emergency alert just sent to everyone in downtown Los Angeles right now. Area is absolute chaos. Here's the emergency alert here. However, with people unwilling to move from the area, tear gas had been deployed around 4:18 p.m., according to footage captured by the Daily Caller News Foundation. And then she said, tear gas has been deployed in Los Angeles. So you don't deploy tear gas if it's overwhelmingly peaceful. You know what I'm saying? And here's some clips here. I'm not going to play these clips of people and the tear gas and stuff like that. I'm sure y'all all saw the footage of that already. But the fight between protesters and officials continued for hours, with agitators at one point attempting to kick and throw back tear gas at officials. By 8:40 p.m., the thousands have been in the streets of downtown Los Angeles. Nearly all dispersed as a curfew for 8 p.m. had been set by officials. So why would you have an 8 p.m. curfew if it's overwhelmingly peaceful? You wouldn't need a curfew. You wouldn't need tear gas if it was overwhelmingly peaceful. So she's just straight up lying. But this is par for the course for the Democrat Party. Do you really expect them to tell the truth about what's going on out here on our streets? Especially when it's liberal activists, so-called progressives, committing these crimes. You think they're really gonna speak out against this? But y'all leave your comments down below, like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.